Hello, I'm your host, Rene Diane of the Focus Lounge podcast. I just want to take a moment and thank you for tuning into this episode. I appreciate you following along the journey, and I look forward to seeing you in the lounge. Welcome to the Focus Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Rene Diane, and in today's episode, we'll be discussing a topic that affects everyone: procrastination. I don't care what your age, gender, or nationality is, procrastination is something that we all struggle with. For years, I myself have battled with this beast and finally made up in my mind that I have to take control of my time. In today's society, we operate 24/7, and most of the time, we operate on a schedule of procrastination. What I mean by we're operating 24/7 is that we have become a society where we work virtually. So our work comes home with us. We're on computers, we're on our devices, we're on our cell phones. So 24/7 we're doing things, and we are scheduling our lives around procrastination. So here's my question. Have you ever found yourself aimlessly wandering around the supermarket, loading up your cart with items you don't really need, all while fussing at yourself for wasting precious time? Or maybe you're guilty of staying up late to the wee hours of the morning, knowing you have work the next day, but you've been watching your favorite TV show. It's time to stop operating on autopilot and start planning a more productive life. This may seem seamless and harmless activities, but they're actually the form of procrastination, and they can seriously hinder our ability to achieve our goals. Let's think about it. Every minute spent wandering the aisles of the supermarket or aimlessly watching TV is a minute that could have been spent towards something meaningful. It's time to take control of your life and start prioritizing your tasks. So the next time you catch yourself aimlessly wandering through the supermarket or staying up late watching TV, take a step back and ask yourself, is it really worth your time? Is it really how you want to spend your time? So let's just take a look at what procrastination really is. Procrastination is the act of delaying or postponing something that needs to be done. I mean, it has to be done, but we are wasting time and not getting it done. So therefore, procrastination has become the thief of time because it steals away the precious moments that we have and leaves us with nothing but regret. All right, procrastination can take many forms, from putting off a task until the last minute to avoiding it altogether. And it can cause, fear or lack of motivation or simply not knowing where to start. I've been guilty of that. I am a photographer and I have to edit pictures once I finish my assignments. Because I know I'm good at editing, I may wait to the last minute. And then I'm up all times of the night trying to fulfill the task before I'm due to give it to the client. But at the same time, I am constantly straining my eyes. I'm hitting my head because I'm so tired. It would behoove me to just go ahead and do it when I had the right time and I'm feeling good about things. So it's very important that we stay motivated when we are working on something and not allow procrastination to supersede our ability. Now let's look at some of the effects of procrastination. Procrastination has some serious consequences on our lives. It can, make us miss opportunities. It causes us to have poor performance, and it even causes health problems. When we procrastinate, we put unnecessary stress on ourselves and on our relationships. And it can also lead to a cycle of guilt and shame, that can be difficult to break. So for myself, I know I feel guilty when I'm working late on assignments, or last minute getting some marketing material in place. Or shucks, even with the podcast. I mean, I allowed life to become so busy that I'm trying to push this in, but this is something that I really want to do. And in order to do it the right ways, I can't afford to procrastinate. I have to prioritize my time and make it happen. And same thing with you. Look at things and prioritize your time and make it happen. All right, so let's look at, how to overcome procrastination. One thing that's good about procrastination, it doesn't have to be a permanent state. Let me say that again. Procrastination does not have to be something that is permanent. There are things we can do to overcome it. The first step is to recognize that we have a problem. That's part of the 5 stages of change. The first thing is to recognize, because a lot of times we are in denial. So when we recognize it, we have to think of things we can do to overcome it. And then as we acknowledge it, we can address those steps. So here are some tips that I find helpful in overcoming procrastination. The first thing is to break tasks down into smaller, manageable steps. Don't try to do everything at once. Section it off and make it work for you. The second thing is set realistic goals and deadlines. I can't stress this enough. Do not put everything in your phones. That battery life only lasts so long. I had a situation where AT&T messed up my phone. I couldn't even get in my phone. So we cannot rely heavily on these devices. We need to go old school, get that paper and pencil and write stuff down. Write stuff down. Put it on the mirror. Get your notebook, put it in a place that you find comfortable, where you might sit, read, and just start writing down your thoughts. That is so helpful. The next thing is you can use a timer to help you stay focused. Go ahead and set a time. I'm going to work on this assignment until the next 30 minutes. And set your timer. And until that timer goes off, don't move. Work on that assignment. I actually have a bracelet that says Take 5, because I had to remind myself that I am not a robot. And if I keep operating like I'm a robot, lack of sleep, working around the clock, I'm going to kill myself. So that bracelet reminds me to take 5 minutes and breathe. And it helps me. It really does. And you should get something for yourself that will help you to remember to focus on you or focus on your task. Another thing is to eliminate distractions. I mean, there's distractions all the time, whether it be our family, the television, the phone ringing, text messages, social media scrolling. Whatever is causing you to be distracted, eliminate it. When you're working on something or you're taking me time, eliminate those distractions. Being on your cell phone is not relaxing. Scrolling is not relaxing. That's not me time. If you're used to being in the office, get outside, take a walk. Take a walk, breathe in some fresh air, listen to the bugs and the birds chirping. That's one of the best things for you. Do not sit on your device when you are trying to make time for yourself. Eliminate those distractions. Finally, reward yourself for completing these tasks. Whatever your task is, you deserve to be rewarded. Why? Because number one, you accomplished something. It doesn't have to be anything real big. But because you accomplished something, write down some little rewards. You know, remember when you were a little kid and they give you the sticker, you're so excited because when you get home, you know, you're going to get a reward. Well, set yourself up a plan where every time you complete something, you give yourself some type of reward. And before you're able to get that reward, you can see your efforts by putting a check mark or a sticker or something to that nature. But make it fun. Make it fun. All right, so I came up with this idea. I love to mind map. And so I created a mind mapping activity to help beat the theft of time. All right, the thief of time, rather, and which is procrastination. So first thing you're going to do is grab you some paper, get you a pencil or pen, whichever utensil you're more comfortable working with. But we're going to start by drawing a circle in the center of the blank page, and we're going to write thief of time. You're going to write that in the center. So in the center, first thing we're going to do, we're going to start by drawing a circle in the center of the page, and you're going to write thief of time. And then write the word procrastination right there in that center circle. Next, I want you to draw branches out of the circle and write down all activities that you tend to waste time on. So for an example, you might on a separate sheet of paper write down scrolling social media, binge watching TV shows, or procrastinating on work tasks. So whatever your list is, you're going to draw these extra branches out from the circle, and you're going to put each task inside the circles. All right, from those branches, now you're going to draw additional branches, and you're going to write down the consequences of wasting time on those activities. So for example, if you spend too much time scrolling social media, you might want to write down that you miss out on opportunities to connect with friends or family in real time. And then the next thing you might want to do from each of the consequence branches, draw additional branches and write down ways to avoid or limit those time-wasting activities. So for an example, you might write set a time limit for social media, or create a schedule to work on a certain task. And then finally, you're going to draw a branch from the center circle and write down the benefits of beating the thief of time. So for an example, you might write more time to pursue hobbies, more time to start that business, less stress and anxiety. You get it? So remember, grab that piece of paper, that blank paper, and let's start this mind mapping activity. Now, by completing this mind mapping activity, you'll gain a better understanding of where your time is going. It can help motivate you to make positive changes and beat the thief of time once and for all. We got to beat up that joker. Procrastination is the devil. So in conclusion here, procrastination, as we talked about, affects us all, but it doesn't have to control our lives. It does not have to control our lives. By recognizing the problem and taking steps to address it, we can take control of our time and achieve our goals. Remember, time is a precious commodity, and we should use it wisely. Thank you for tuning into this episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and also on YouTube. Remember, Focus Lounge Podcast. Subscribe today. Thank you for tuning in.